All right, boom, we're back, Squeeze the Neck podcast, and today I believe I'm in Crawley, right?
That's right, Crawley.
At Lumpini gym with my new mate, Paulo Da Silva. Thanks for doing this,
right.
bro. Now, no pressure on this one, as I said to you before. We got introduced by Danielle Peters, so shout out Danielle, hope you're well. Check out her episode, by the way. Guy, when we showed up today, said the same word. Both of them called you a legend, so here we are. Had to get you on, mate. Tell us who you are.
I'm Paulo Da Silva. I was a professional Muay Thai and K1 fighter. I'm a co-owner of Lumpini gym with John Jarvis in Crawley. That's it.
I think you're being a bit modest there, mate. You said you were a former fighter, 4-time world champion for anyone who's interested, which is everybody. So tell us about that, mate. You said 4-time world champion. Is that across K1 and Muay Thai?
Yeah, across K1 and Muay Thai. I fought for about, oh bloody hell. I had my first fight in 1999, so.
Jesus Christ.
And my last fight in 2018. I'm having actually another fight in about 3 months time or 2 months time. I fought all over the world. I was very lucky. I had a very busy career. I fought China, Japan, America, Las Vegas, LA, all over Europe. I fought everywhere.
Thailand? Fight in Thailand?
I never had the chance to fight.
Okay.
I never had the chance to fight in Thailand because every time we went to Thailand to train, always had a fight booked up in England.
Right.
So I got offered to fight a few times there, but it never really fitted the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I never had that chance to do it. But yeah.
Still young, bro. How old are you? You look like you're about 28, but you said retired. How old are you?
I'll be 45 in about a month's time.
Were you really?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, we're getting to diet and like healthy lifestyle in a minute, I think. Jesus Christ, you look younger than me. But let's go back all the way, mate, because you said to me you're originally from Portugal.
I was born in Portugal. I moved to England when I was 15 years old.
Which part of Portugal are we talking, mate?
Middle of nowhere, countryside. So if you've got Lisbon, Spain, straight line, I'm in the middle of both.
Right, okay, I get you.
You wouldn't know it. It's like, so I moved over. I was turning 16, stayed here, stayed with family for a little bit. Never meant to stay in England, just was a holiday thing that ended up turning into about 40 years later.
Yeah, 40-year holiday.
30 years later.
30-year holiday.
My maths are shit.
Yeah, and you came here, was you already fighting before you came here?
No, I didn't. I started fighting when I was 18. So I never, come around that way, Pat.
Yeah, please don't let us stop you. Walk through, all good.
No, I never. I used to play football. I was alright at football. I had trials with Benfica when I used to be.
Okay, you was more than alright. You was a good footballer, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was after this and then came over to England. Obviously, my parents were back in Portugal, ended up mixing with the wrong crowd, doing things I shouldn't really be doing. So life wasn't going very good at the time. But I used to work with a mate of mine, Clive Nash, and he started going to the gym, doing kickboxing, as I used to call it. I'm going kickboxing. Do you want to come? And I was like, no, I'm all right, because I was too busy doing whatever I was doing. And one day I went and I absolutely loved it. I was absolutely terrible at it. No coordination, nothing, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that environment, being around positive people, and that was it. And then we just went from there, really.
That's interesting. Where did you come to originally? Was it in Crawley still then?
Yeah, it was in Crawley. The gym was in Crawley. John, my partner, he used to run a class once a week at West Green Shops. We used to have a little church hall place in there, tiny little place, concrete floor, freezing. He used to do it there, so we went there, and that was
That's
it.
interesting, because back in the day, sorry to cut you off, mate.
No,
but
that's all right.
Like back in the day, like it was a bit different, wasn't it? Like internet wasn't such a thing. Like my first ever taste of martial arts was Muay Thai, actually. When I was really young, I was about 10. It was in Eastbourne as well, actually. I'd been, or maybe 11. It doesn't matter. Around that sort of early 2000s time, a gym called Asterix. I don't think it's there anymore. But
I know Asterix.
You know Asterix?
He used to. What was his name? He used to fight. I saw him fight a few times. We fought at the same shows a few times.
Yeah. I forget his name. I always forget his name. He had a bald head.
Yeah,
the guy
bald
I'm
head,
talking about.
all the
Someone help us. If this finds you, comment below.
I'll remember in a minute.
Yeah, we'll remember it. It's on the tip of my tongue too. But as I say, I was very young. I was in Eastbourne for a few years at that point, so I did. That was my first taste. But the reason I bring that up is because back in the day, it wasn't like you could just Google things and it was everywhere. And it was quite strange, wasn't it? You had a friend who did it like you did.
Yeah,
I had a friend. It was actually my friend's little sister who did a bit in there, and like we went down and all that kind. Anyway, but like back in the day, if you went into a gym, you said it was a very positive environment. Like certain times, it seems to be one way or the other, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
sometimes
100%.
you go in gyms and people are grunting at you, but you had a positive environment.
I was a positive thing. Like the gym was friendly, welcoming. You know what I mean? There was only a few people there. I don't know, 6 or 7 people there, but everyone was willing to help you, and they made me feel good. You know, welcome, and I soon realised that's the kind of positive people I need, rather than the other side that I was doing that I didn't really need it in my life, if you know what I mean.
And especially at that age. That age is a funny age, isn't it?
I was 17, 18, so it's...
You can get in trouble at that age, probably, can't you?
Exactly.
You can really get in trouble. But if you go from sort of like playing football, did you just give up football instantly? Was that the deal?
Yeah, no, I was playing a little bit, but then again, I was falling in love with it, because I was doing whatever I was doing, and I wasn't spending as much time as playing football. And obviously, the football got a bit boring, and then this was almost a new thing, and that excited me a little bit more, and I quite enjoyed it. So that, I needed something, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Was it McLean? Sorry, was it
McLean? That's Eddie McLean.
Eddie McLean, that's the thing. God, we got there in the end. My God, thank you. That was going to bother me all episode. I was dropping McLean. Eddie McLean, that's right. And that's right. Yeah, he was very. And I think his missus was a teacher too.
Yeah, she was a teacher too. I fought at the same show with Eddie McLean in Birmingham, at the Tower of Ballroom in the K-Star show.
Brilliant.
And I've seen him fight a few other times. But anyway, yeah.
People are watching this now going, needs to have been punched in the head too much. I can't remember who was that. But yeah, Eddie McLean. I mean, the last time I would have seen him, I was probably 11 or 12 years old. So it's not like I know him well, but you know, it's one of them things you remember clearly. And I remember his missus coaching as well at one point. Because at the time, in my little head, thinking, wow, it's a women fight as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on around here?
It was different back then as well.
It was different, yeah. And it was good times, good memories. You used to go down in like a basement. Have you been to the gym?
No,
right?
I've never been
so
to the
gym. So you used to go in, it was like a shop front almost, and they had a desk. And you used to go like down the stairs, and like, you know, it's like the smell hits you. And it was like one of them things that lit me up. And it was great memories down there. But that was my first ever taste of martial arts at Asterix. But like, if you go forward, what point did it become sort of like you wanted to fight and this was your career sort of path?
To be honest, I was never been one of them people that I wanted to fight. I was just training, I was enjoying it. Once we went to watch a show, me and John, and we were just sitting there and I was just watching it, and I was thinking, oh, that's quite cool. I wanna do that. So trained a bit more. We went and had a fight, first fight. I lost on points. I fought a lad from Scott Newton from fuck's sake. Where does Robin Hood comes from? Nottingham, that's it. Right, from Nottingham. I gave about 6 or 7 kilos away. It didn't matter anyway, but I really enjoyed it. Lost on points, but I loved it, and I really got hooked on it.
Right.
So then we trained again, carry on, had another fight, and then another fight, got offered the title, and it just went from there. I never meant to become a fighter or a world champion or English champion or British champion. People sometimes they turn up to the gym and they go, yeah, I always wanted to be. Nah, I never wanted. It was just a natural progress for me. It just went along. I was just enjoying the ride, and I absolutely loved it. I still, even to this day, I still train pretty much every day. I just finished training as you turned up, and it's my day off from the gym. I don't work on a Monday, but I'm still here on a Monday training because I just enjoy it. That's the kind of lifestyle I really enjoy. So. Yeah.
And you said your last fight was in 2018. And what was why did you stop then? Was there a particular reason?
I retired in 2015. So I fought in Japan just before that. I had a fight with the Japanese champion. I knocked him out in the 3rd round for ISKA world title. And then I had another fight in England. That was my last fight, and then I retired. I was just different reasons. I was getting married, I was buying a house, Mrs. was pregnant, we're having a kid, and
congratulations.
Thank you at the time, and the gym was really busy, and by then I was having not enough of it, but I've had a long career by then anyway, so I retired for a bit, and then the same Japanese bloke kept asking for a rematch, and I was like, I'm retired, I'm cool at the moment. All that, and then anyway, kept asking for it. So, cut long story short, I was like, yeah, cool, let's have a rematch. Then, obviously, trained for it. 2018, went back to Japan to give him a rematch after I've been retired for 3 years. Won again. I knocked him out this time in the 1st round, so I defended the belt there. And then I come back, and I was sort of training again. And I was thinking, I might just have maybe another one, and then COVID kicked in a little bit after that. But And that was it. Then I was thinking, oh, that's cool. I'm done with that. I'm not really. I'm not saying I'm not interested in fighting. I'm just too busy, and really, I'm getting a bit older. It doesn't really. It's not for me at the moment. But yeah, cut long story short. Moving forwards again. Well, we're 2025.
Gets scary, doesn't it? 2000 and tick, tick,
yeah,
tick,
it
tick,
just
tick.
moves along. So yeah, I just decided to have another fight. Lots of different things happened this year in my life. Nothing that mad, but it just made me realise life is a bit too short. If you really want to do something, just go and do it. So, cut long story short, I'm having another fight. That's it. And
there we go. And is this another fight or is this a comeback?
It's no comeback. This is not like no plan comeback. You have to be realistic. I'm going to be 45 years old, so you know, you could say, if you want to be anal, you could say I fought in 4 different decades: 99, 2000, 2010, and 2020s.
We've only got 4.5 years, and we can make that 5 decades,
you
bro.
know,
If you want to do this.
No, but it's you have to be realistic. This will be just a fight, and that's it. And then.
But how do you feel? Like, because obviously people say when they get older, recoveries, different injuries, blah blah blah. But I had a bit of fun at the start and said you look like a young man.
Yeah.
But you do. You look way younger than you are. Like, how do you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel as I always did.
You did, yeah.
The only thing, if I'm honest, the only thing we talk a little bit more is when I first started upping the training a little bit. My body obviously was aching a lot because you don't recover as much as an 18-year-old lad does, or 20, or 25, or 30. I'm close to 45, so your body doesn't recover as well. But I live in the gym. I'm in the gym 24/7. I train. It didn't matter, even when I retired in 2015, I still trained pretty much 5 days a week or 4 days a week, even up to now really, so nothing really changes.
Yeah.
Always train. It keeps you fit, keeps you young, and I enjoy it. That's what I really enjoy doing.
That's where everyone wants to be at the end of their career, right? You still love it, you still enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're not doing this for money, you're doing this because you want to, and you're having another fight now because you feel like it.
Yeah, because I enjoy it.
And you can still do it, obviously,
Yeah.
right? Whereas a lot of people, like, we all know, we don't have to mention names, we all know people that we've trained with over the years that struggle speaking a bit, and they're like, you know, they're slower than they used to be, they're fat as a pig, and you know, who wants to end like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, the situation you're in, I mean, another guy that comes to mind like that is Georges St. Pierre, right?
Yeah.
Like, he still trains every day. You see him if anyone sees him on Instagram, Jesus, you know what I mean? He still looks like he could be world champion, you know what I mean? And like, to end your career on that, well, you haven't ended your career. Let's not talk too soon.
I know what
you're still going, but like, to be at your stage of life now, and to be, it's like, hey, that's like completed it, isn't it? You know what I mean?
The thing is, I want to be fit for as long as I possibly could be. There's no reason why I can be fit in my 50s or fit in my 60s. I think it's a lifestyle. As long as you choose a certain lifestyle, it just keeps you fit and healthy. And it is really good for me, even for my mind space and stuff like that. It keeps me good. I enjoy it. That's it.
That's good, man. And like, listen, on here I always cut people off, so I've cut you off a few times. But let's jump back. Right. Let's go back to like your fight career, mate. So like, when did it start getting when did you start getting to like serious levels, and what was the situation there?
I don't know. So it was different then, wasn't it? We're talking about 1999. How many years is that?
26, if my maths isn't too off.
Yeah, so
26 years ago.
It was a bit different then. Things weren't as this, and I just kept fighting. I lost my first one, and I kept winning. Then I got offered after like 4 or 5 fights, English title, then British title. It just kept moving.
That's
you know
fast,
what I mean?
isn't it? Like, in that short space.
Yeah, it just kept moving. You know what I mean? And obviously, I don't think I won a world title until I was about. Oh, I'd have to check. Don't know, probably 22, 23.
Still young though, right? You said until
still
like.
Young. And then obviously I had a few fights then, and then I lost a few fights, and then I carried on, and then it just carried on normally.
And was this pro from the off? You said you lost your first fight. Was you pro straight away?
Yeah, pro. We didn't have no,
It was different then, right?
You can call it. It's different then. We didn't have no shin guards. It's not like now we got the big amateur scene.
Yeah.
N-class shin guards, big gloves, elbow pads, all this stuff. Back then it was different. It was nothing like that. You jumped in straight away with no shin pads, or you could call it pro, same grounds as what we do pro now. And it was just different times. If anything, I don't know, I preferred it back then than I prefer it now, really. If I'm honest. Yeah, it was just. You know what happens now with the social media and stuff? What I call is too many social media fighters. People want to be fighters because it looks good on the social media. You go on their profile, they've had one fight and they're pro fighters. And I mean one shit fight like N-class and things. So a large percentage of people try not to offend anyone anyway, but a large percentage of people do it because it's cool and because it's want to impress their friends and stuff. They don't really do it for themselves. So it's a bit different. Back then there was no social media. People just went and fought, you know, like now. Oh, I've seen him on Instagram on the pads. He looks absolutely amazing. Oh, he's 6 foot tall. He's this, he's that. He's been Thailand 10 times. You know, just so many excuses when you're trying to get people fight or match. Back then it was easy. You just went out the fight. Didn't really know what the gizzard was. It was no internet like where you could search. It was no pictures. Most times you had a name, you're not even seen a photo of the bloke you were fighting until you jumped in and you weighed in on the scales and you saw the person. Sometimes you're not even seen him on the scales because you'd have weighed in and the bloke would have weighed in later. You just seen him across the ring when he was there. Point I'm trying to make, it was simpler, it was easier, it was better, and if anything, it was probably more fun, really.
Yeah, I can, from my own experience, like when I started fighting was amateur boxing, and it was exactly like that. You'd weigh in, most of the time you didn't know, you're relying on your coach to look after you, right, and get you a good match, but you'd turn up and you'd see him, sometimes you'd see him like standing there, he's about to walk out, you're about to walk out, or in the ring, the opposite side.
But you had 100% trust on your coach, and whatever your coach said, you've done it.
That's what it is.
You didn't have to go and look for a million things and then come back and be panicking because you've seen the bloke eat pads with some
added stress, right?
Amazing.
And it's an added stress, isn't it?
It's just added stress that you don't really need to, and sometimes you're just making yourself panic over nothing, really, when just have belief on your coach, really. If he tells you are ready to fight this person, you shouldn't even ask any questions, you should just go. If not, there's no point in
I agree.
in doing it.
This is where things change a little bit now. Sometimes you turn up at white collar shows. I've been to some white collar shows. Some have been great, and then other times, no names, but you turn up and it's like, the fuck is he doing in there with him? Do you know what I mean? Like you see a guy who looks like a proper pro level, sort of high level amateur, and he's fighting someone who looks like they've never had a fight before in their life.
And this is what I call the Instagram fighters, because they don't want to have real fights. They just want to have fights where they can win because it looks good for their friends and it looks good for their thing, and they think they're the hardest person in the fish tank.
That's it.
You know
what I mean? I saw someone get face planted recently. I don't know who they were. I'm not, you know, but they was the guy who knocked him out. Apparently, was like a multiple-time champion as an amateur boxer, and he's like had a handful of white-collar bouts. And it's like it's a dangerous game we're playing here because. I think, like you say, on the Instagram stuff, it's all fun and games, isn't it? Until someone in front of you that can really fight, and it's a dangerous thing.
And then you get a lot of that, and then some of them lads, when you offer them a real fight, they don't want to take it because they might lose, and then if they lose, it's really, you know. It's not the same as what it used to be.
We sound like a couple of old dinosaurs back in our day.
No, it's not even back on the day. It's just true. It's true. I'm not saying everyone is like that. You know what I mean?
agree with you 100%.
But I'm not saying everyone is like that, but there's a large percentage of that now.
There is.
It is.
Well, everyone wants to, like you said, I think a lot of people want to pretend they're a fighter because they've had a few sort of like pillar fights, and they, you know what I mean? They pretend it is, but that's a rant for another day, guys. You know how we do it around here.
We're not talking about that today.
Maybe we will, but we'll come back to it. But like when you start winning world titles, was there sort of a moment for you where it was like, wow, I'm fucking like, you know, this is real for me now. I'm doing the real thing here. Or was it still always just a fun thing for you and just a hobby?
It was just a fun thing for me. I just enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I just enjoyed the challenge. I just enjoyed doing it. You know what I mean? It's never like, it didn't, honest to God, it didn't really matter if I was fighting in front of like 5 people or like when I fought in China, like on live TV and stuff like that, in front of like you know what I mean? Lots of people. It didn't really matter. You know what I mean? I just enjoyed doing it. If you know what I mean, I just really.
Absolutely, I
suppose I'm a bit demented, maybe. I don't really
maybe,
know. You know what I mean?
Right,
I just enjoyed it. It didn't really. It was all the same, you know. And when you win a few titles, it's just all the same. You know what I mean? I just enjoyed the fight. I'll be as excited for my fight in a few months' time as I was probably against my first one, because I enjoyed the challenge. Can I still do it at 45 years old? Can I still beat that bloke? And for me, that's what it's always been. Always done it for myself, not for anyone else. If you know what I mean.
But, listen, I do, but I think that's the right way to do it, isn't it? You know, a lot of people don't. And like how many times people, myself included, when I was doing like amateur boxing, man, it's like the stress I used to put on myself. Like where you look back now and you go, no one cares, man. Like, do you know what I mean? I should have just enjoyed it more. I should have been more whatever. But it seems like you had definitely off anyway.
No, I always enjoyed it. It was never like about anyone else. It was all about me, really. Me challenging myself, trying to do the best as I could. It was never really. And then again, I didn't do it like to become a career out of it. I have a career out of it. We own a lovely gym and stuff like that. But it was never. I just went along with the ride and absolutely loved it, and it's been great, and I still love it because I'm still, doing
still
it.
chopping away,
So,
still going, man. But that's cool. But like, tell us about like fighting all over the world, because like people that fight all over the world, I don't think a lot of people I've spoke to that have done that sort of, they took it in at the time. They sort of sit there now, sort of in hindsight, and wish they'd enjoyed it more. Like, what's your experiences of traveling the world and fighting?
I loved it. It was cool. I enjoyed it. It was nice. I suppose, maybe I could have maybe enjoyed it a bit more or whatever, but I loved it. I was very lucky. I went everywhere.
Yeah. Where's your favourite place to fight?
Oh, I don't know. A few different places. I enjoy fighting in Las Vegas. I fought in the Strip in Las Vegas.
Oof,
I had the rematch against Romeo Danza. He beat me the first time. It was close, on point. I thought I won, but obviously they gave him the win. And then we had the rematch, and I won by a knockout first round. And then he beat me a few times after that as well.
Right. Don't matter, bro. You
if
knocked him
Rom is
out.
watching, it's a good fight.
Shout out to Rom.
We still mates now. We fought 5 times actually.
Yeah, 5 times.
Five
I mean, listen, if you fought someone 5 times, you know each other better in a lot of ways.
5 times. No, it was cool. I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed fighting there, and to be honest, I really enjoyed fighting in Portugal. That was probably one of my favourite places because obviously I'm Portuguese. It was the only time I ever fought in Portugal, so I had a chance to fight there, and obviously my parents were able to watch it because then it was live on the Portuguese TV as well, so my parents could watch it, and my dad was actually present at the show to watch it. Wow. So that was quite cool, I have to say.
And what do they think of it? Like, what's your mum think of it? Is your mum like, don't hit my baby, or is she into
they
it?
They don't enjoy it. They don't enjoy it. Probably my dad enjoys it a bit more now, but yeah, they don't really enjoy it, to be honest.
Course,
they're happy, obviously very proud, very pleased, but I don't think they ever enjoyed watching me fight. I think they only watched me fight once live, and that's when I retired because I flew them over to come and watch me.
Is that right?
So I was like, you need to come and watch because that's my last one.
Yeah.
Even if I fought twice since then, but I'll be fighting twice since then. But no, they don't really enjoy it. They're proud, but they don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that interests me as well with people that have got to such a level of kickboxing, because a lot of people say different things, like I've been to Thailand and trained a bit. I've seen the Thais train up close, and it's very sort of, it looks playful, except the boxing. When I've seen Thais spar boxing, that seems like real hard. Yeah. But I guess what I'm getting at is how do you train and how do you spar for fights coming up, back in the day or now from experience or whatever?
It was a bit different back in the day. We used to spar quite heavy. We used to spar more like Dutch style. I spar a bit more Dutch style, even now really. That's my style. I'm not saying that's the style I teach, and that's the style I like my lads to do and train, if you know what I mean. I'm a bit old school dinosaur still. I still a bit, heavy boxing, heavy low kicks. That's always been my style through the career. That's the style I prefer. That's the style we used to spar a lot. Like now, it's totally different. The style that our lads spar and train is totally different to what we used to, if you know what I mean. Of
course, yeah. But I mean, you live and learn, right? But at the same time, there has to be a place for hard sparring, doesn't there? Because the first time can't be when you're in their life.
No, you need to spar. It's the same, like, so say if my lads who fighting, first even coming through or even having fights coming up, they'll have 1 or 2 hard spar against another person, similar weight, similar thing. And you still have to, but most of it is like 50-60%, playing around, not playing around, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And when it's even, you got a fight coming up, even weights, even stuff, then obviously you need to, it makes it a bit more realistic as such, if you know what I mean. But you can't outspar every day, because then you're going to have a short career and you're going to end up getting hurt. And obviously you can't outspar if you like 55 kilos, 56 kilos like me, and then you're sparring a 90 kilo man heavy.
It's not going to go well, right?
Ain't going to go well, you know what I mean? I'll end up getting hurt, basically. You know what I mean? So you have to be sensible as well, the way you do it.
Well, yeah, right. But also, I'll tell you one thing that's interesting, and I've said to a few people on here about this, is like, where you didn't have your first fight till, I think you said 18, right?
18.
Around there. It's an interesting point because you haven't been getting punched in the head consistently from a young kid. And I think that plays a part too, I know a lot of people have different opinions on when to start and all that kind of stuff, and there's obvious benefits to starting young, but I do believe there's benefits to starting a bit later too, because 18 is not a fully grown man, but it's close, right? You know what I mean? You're pretty developed. So, like, do you think that's played into your longevity as well?
Yeah, and Yeah, yeah, he did. And most of my fights, a large percentage of my fights I won by knockout. So I never had the big traumas. You know what I mean? Some people take too much damage. You know what I mean? You can't. I'm not being horrible. You can't have 76 fights and being there, getting punched in the head for 5 rounds, wars.
Nah.
You ain't gonna last long. If you know what I mean. You have to be clever. And you can't have like kids at 11, 12 getting punched in the head and getting knocked out and stuff like that. Because like you said, they ain't fully developed. It's only gonna, as it goes along, you're gonna end up having a very short career. Really, you have to be sensible with it.
Well, it's interesting because when I was going back to the Asterix days, don't quote me on this because obviously it's a long time ago. But from my memories, when we used to spar, we used to do a lot of boxing sparring, but like there wasn't a lot of heavy kicking to the head for kids or anything like that. There was never any. I never ever saw anyone get hurt other than body shots in the gym. You know what I mean? And don't quote me on that because as I said it's a long time ago. But like that's got to be the better way to do it, isn't it? You know, you don't want to be getting kids getting kicked in the face consistently.
100%. Like most of our kids, they don't do head contact until about 15, 16 in here.
Smart. Yeah.
They will just spar, but like body spar, they compete only body stuff.
That's cool, man.
So until obviously they get a little bit old, and then we move them on as we go along. Because again, really, they're still kids, and you have to develop them through the system, I suppose.
And also, there's more to life as well, aren't there? Do you know what I mean? Like, how many kids come in here that are actually going to go on to be pros and take it serious?
100%. To be honest, we got quite a good.
Have you? Yeah, I was going to say you're probably going to tell me.
No, we have loads. We got loads. It's like we have loads.
Yeah,
like loads.
And it's cool to see when you got kids like that. I've done some training recently with Daniel Terry Fight Team. Shout out to the boys. And them guys, a lot of the kids I've done, like moved around with and stuff, they're like, 14, 15, 16 type of age. And like the way they do it is so cool, man. Like, you know what I mean?
We've got loads. It's like a little factory, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, loads. I could name loads, you know what I mean? They're just moving. So you got like, some silly, but you got like some 7 and 8, 9 year olds really good, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, and then you got the other age group, and then they go 18s, 20s, you know, it's like we're always moving them up, and most of them they stick to it, and a large amount of them doing really well, even now in the gym, they are doing really well for themselves. So it's nice to see, really.
Yeah, it's brilliant because I tell you, like, not so much striking days, but more like through Jiu Jitsu. I've seen people that sort of started around the time I was, and they're like 6 or 7 at the time. And now they're young men, you know, they've got six packs and muscles, and they're winning adult competitions. And when you see it up close, it just makes you go like, fuck, man.
It's the same in here. I've got kids in here, they've been in the gym since they was like 5 years old, and now they in 19, 20, and they're, you know, winning fights, and they getting titles themselves, and then so on, really. Even, you know, my partner's son, Joe Jarvis, is fighting in Thailand for the One Championship title.
Wow.
He used to run around as a baby, really, in the gym, and now he's, how old is he? 20, probably 24, 25.
Oof.
Around that probably.
Now he's a handful.
I need to do the maths a bit, but he's around that, maybe a little bit younger. I don't really know. Don't quote me on it.
Either way, he's a man. Right?
He's a man, right? He's got his own kid now, so.
Oh wow, he's a proper man.
He's a proper man. He's a real man, and he's, you know, he's fighting for the One Championship belt. So, you know, we always developing good people, good kids, and it's nice to see really when they start fulfilling their own dreams. And
that's so cool, isn't it, when you see that, like, becoming a young man. But before I sound like an old man, let's move on. But like, I'll tell you what's interesting, because what weight did you fight at?
I started fighting at 51 kilos.
Right.
And I used to fight 52, 53, but I used to walk around at that weight. I was very small. Even now, I only walk around at 56 kilos. So I used to fight really light, 52s, 53s. But
the reason I asked that is because you said you got a lot of knockouts, which in them weight divisions you don't tend to get a lot, right?
So you don't see it at all at my weight category, or very rarely.
Yeah.
But I'm a very heavy puncher. I was a very heavy puncher, so I had a lot of knockouts. So. I don't know, in 76 fights, probably I had, let's say, 60 wins, probably 40 of them probably by knockout.
Which is insane, isn't it? That's like a heavyweight type ratio of what you're doing.
It is, Which is
great. But what was your strength and conditioning like? Do you do weights? Are you one of them, or are you nothing?
To be honest, back then, strength and conditioning didn't exist.
Well, that's what I mean.
Fight camps didn't exist. This is a new word now. Everyone talks about fight camps. I'm like, you're having your first fight, mate. You're training in the same gym as what you always train, doing the same training as always. And now people start talking about like fight camps and things like that. You're just training in here, doing the same shit, just training a bit heavy, and then you go fight.
It's just Monday, yeah, just hit the bag.
Yeah, that's it. So anyway, back to it. It was nothing like that. I didn't start doing any strength and conditioning or anything like that until probably until we moved to this gym, until I was about 30, I think. And
Really?
then we
So
started
yeah,
doing,
wow.
And even it wasn't proper strength and conditioning, really. We do it now. We got a strength and conditioning coach, Andre. He's really good. And all the lads do it. But back then it was nothing like that.
What was you doing, like push-ups and sit-ups and old school stuff?
Just usual shit. Like
I think there's something to that, man. I think there's
press-ups, push-ups, burpees. I still do all of that now.
Yeah.
Everything. I do a bit of that strength and conditioning, but I still do the same training as what I always did. It's quite funny because a few people go, "What's your training like for your fight? What are you doing?" I'm like, the same shit as I always did.
Right.
Really, to be honest, I always done the same. So it's nothing different. Oh, where are you gonna train? Same gym as always.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I think there's something to the simple stuff, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you go to Thailand and train, like,
It works. We almost...
Yeah.
It works, doesn't it?
It does,
worked
yeah.
back then.
Yeah, right.
Listen, Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier for 15 rounds in Frill in Manila.
That's it.
Most people wouldn't be able to do it now.
No.
Did they have any special diets?
No.
Did they do any special strength and conditioning? Did they do any crazy science like this mud, air chambers, all these things, all this... vitamin supplements, all this. They didn't do anything.
Nothing, no. Just
Nothing.
turned up and trained hard.
They just turned up, trained hard, and they fought. Sometimes we get so deluded with all these amazing things that we forget actually what you really need to do to actually train properly and fight. We're always looking for something, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's true. Like, I don't know if you know who Jim Watt is, a Scottish world champion boxer. He said once on I think it was a James DeGale fight, I might be wrong on that, but anyway, he was commentating, and they was talking about strength and conditioning and blah, 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 whatever. And he was like, he was saying, I'm a dinosaur, don't quote me on this, but he said, like, I'm a dinosaur, but, this strength and conditioning, this is time you could be better served just sparring and whatever.
Yeah.
Now, the truth, I guess, is somewhere in the middle, right?
You don't get me wrong, you need a little bit of it, and
of
obviously
course.
you need to get a bit strong and whatever, but you naturally get strong anyway
Of course you do, yeah.
by doing your training and your exercise and putting effort into it. The problem is sometimes people get so deluded doing so many different things, they actually forget what do they need to do to train properly for a fight. I.e. again with all these diets and all this stuff, and it's sometimes all them things, they're not as important as what people really think.
No, I'm a big believer in it, and like I've heard this from old school coaches as well, of like how to work on punching harder, and like their view on it is fucking hit the bag as hard as you can.
Well, and you just develop your technique, and your power will come. And then again, I'm not being horrible.
No.
Or you're born with knockout power, or you ain't. So. You can make it a bit better, and you can make it a little bit harder, but if you're not. Some people are born with it, some people ain't. I'm not saying you can't develop a little bit more and make it a bit better, but you know what I'm
cool.
trying
I think
to
it's true,
say.
100% true. And we all know people as well that we've sparred with, that you look at them and they don't look like much, but the first time they hit you, you go, okay, no, I weren't expecting that one. And like the guy next to him's got muscles and whatever, and then when he hit you, go, nah, it's not too bad. Yeah, and there is something to the natural side of things, but I think everyone would probably agree with that for the most part anyway. But I tell you one, like you said about like old school training, I don't know if are you much of a boxing fan yourself?
Yeah, I watch boxing all the time.
Yeah.
We got boxing in here. We got a good boxing team, and I used to train a pro boxer, Brandon Barlow.
Oh, really? You're a pro boxing trainer as well?
Yeah, I've got a license and
stuff. Oh, okay.
So it's cool. Yeah, I enjoy boxing anyway. I really enjoy boxing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the reason I say that is that when you were talking about like the old training and stuff like that, one of the guys that comes to mind who I always look at as someone who was like that hits it to a T is Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen him training. Like if you look at some of his training, the old videos, if you didn't know who he was and what he'd achieved, you look at some of his training and go, it's a fucking joke, man.
Yeah.
He's got his head up close on the bag, he's throwing like a wild winging shot, he can barely skip properly, he runs at like a slow pace, he's throwing rocks. But listen, it worked, didn't it?
It worked for him.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? We're all different things. This is another thing as well. Back to the social media thing. Everyone copies everyone else's training because it's cool at the moment and is fashionable.
Yeah.
And they forget what really works for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just do your own thing. Get in your own path. Do your own training. Stop copying everyone. And it goes through fashions, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. There is a power in trusting yourself, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
just
like,
trust
no, it works
yourself.
for you.
Do your own thing, you know what I mean? Forget what everyone else is doing. Just find what works for you. Stop copying people. To all of you youngsters out there, stop copying everyone else. Do your own thing, you know what I mean? And it will work.
It'll work. There you go. 4-time world champion. So there you go.
Just do your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we get too sidetracked with too many different things.
I think so. Yeah, simple sometimes, isn't it? Turn up at the gym, put the hard work in.
Yeah, exactly.
And there you go. But like, tell us about your fight, mate. When and where is your fight?
It's on the 11th of October in Crawley at K2 at Muay Thai Mayhem show.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Simple as that. Get yourself there. 11th
Simple as
October.
that. Come along. Come and watch if you're about, and yeah, that's it really.
Where do people get tickets? I want a ticket. I'm coming. I'm
you
gonna be
can
there.
get tickets online. We'll have a link, or you can just turn up. Will be tickets on the door.
Oh, is that right?
Or buy tickets in the gym. But probably the best will be like buying them online because.
Make sure you got one, right?
Make sure you get one because the show probably it will sell out. But yeah. But that's it, yeah.
That's it, brilliant. Because if you've got any links, mate, tell me. I'll put it in the description.
No, we'll have links. We'll do ticket links. And
we'll put the ticket links in there.
We always have a ticket link. It will come out soon. We're just finalising the show and
nice.
And that's it.
But mate, listen, this has been brilliant. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Before we finish, I always ask the most important question. This decides whether we stay friends or just one of them. Well, yeah, I kind of know him. Which football team do you support?
Me, well, my English team is Chelsea.
Very good. That is the correct answer. He can stay. But mate, as I say, always appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for
I
your
always
time.
finish with the fists up like this. Squeeze the neck. Boom.